Yeah, chat and everybody, I'm back. Inaonekana kweli. Are you seeing me? Can I be seen? It's a good. There's a microphone here, so when you see the shadow, it's because there's a microphone here, and I don't think you are here to see me. I just think you are here to see whatever I'm going to say about the topic today. It has been long, but then I thought just because I've been doing this thing for long and it has come to a point where everybody needs to chip in because people are saying, like us, like Chelsea, we are not at that point where we can compete with PSG, which I think is very wrong. It's not right. It's People just don't know how good we are. Like if I compare to a point, I was not making the videos because there was nothing to talk about. It was just good moments after good moments after good games after good games, another good night game. And it was so good just watching us play. As much as we didn't like make to top two or win the league as I had predicted when we had that longer period where we were winning in last season. To a certain point, you can see the difference. You can see even when we started this Club World Cup, when we finished, how we finished the league, how you have been playing, and given that as much as people are saying the the competition or our opponents, the teams you are facing are not as good, but if you go behind and just check the teams that we have beat, Benfica, which is a European team, one of the powerhouses. Now we beat Fluminense. Fluminense beat Al Hilal. Al Hilal beat Man City. You see, there's some kind of connection. I know people usually come with different ways to play the game, but then the game is the game, and you can only beat the people you are facing. And I'm sure I have so much confidence in the team, and you can just see from the way everybody's talking, be it Maresca, be it James, be it who are the other guys, be it Pedro, all of them, like the way they're talking. Stream's current bitrate is low. I don't know how, whether I'm okay or whether I'm lagging. Let me check before I continue to make this. Like the way you have been playing is so good. You have been doing a lot of good stuff to a point where I think PSG is not a team where people will say that whether I'm okay or whether I'm lagging. Let me check if I continue to make this. Oh, it's small buffering. A person can watch it. Uh, yeah, I was saying PSG, as much as they are so good, but they have been defeated. Now, our team has drawn. Like the last time I was here, I think is several months, 4 or 5 months ago. I was talking about how Maresca really downplayed our form, or he downplayed the the talent that the team had. Like he was like controlling expectation for fans and for the team also. But when we needed to turn up, like the way we were struggling to get top four, you could see how we were playing. And Chelsea have been resilient in games where we were not the favorites. I know in any video that you are going to see of people who have been watching Chelsea for a longer period of time, everybody will say that. Everybody will remind you of 2012. Other people will remind you of 2021, especially the final. And there have been other games where we were just, when we needed to like perform, we performed. And this team has not been okay. I was being no. This team has not been how many people are saying, not me. A lot of people were saying that this team has not been tested with an opposition such as this one. But then Liverpool is such a good team. Like you can see how it has been playing with every other team, and especially even when it faced uh, PSG, and the way it played with PSG compared to the way it played with us, and like every other team, be it Arsenal, be it PSG, be it Liverpool, be it Man City, like we always turn up when we need to turn up. Like there's nothing where you can say that we are we are we are a small team. When we were beaten by the Brazil team and everybody had ruled us out, like we were not going to make it to the probably round of 16, or when we drew with Benfica in 90 minutes. A lot of people thought that we were not going to make to like go to quarters, but we just like we turned up when we needed to turn up, and that's the good thing about this Chelsea. Now, when we analyze, like if you are going to analyze between Henrique and Maresca, Henrique has proved over time, from the time he was in Barcelona to the time he has been creating all these teams, and he has been creating teams that are able to win, that are able to play in all different manners. Like if you see PSG, how they usually play, it's all strength all through. Like they can play that 2012 Barcelona tiki-taka if they want to. They can play that Gengen pressing of Liverpool if they want to. They can play, you see, counter-attack because they have people like Doe and Crave, whose name, Varaskel, or whatever it's called, like, and Dembele. They can all run in front, come back to defend, like they can hurt you in all different manner. But the way we are playing, we can just handle all. Like how we lost certain games, it was just because of individual mistake. And as much as people usually say that a team usually loses because of individual mistakes, when you compare to teams, different teams, like you can say, like even Liverpool, whenever they were winning, there was also that thing where in certain games you could see that a team was better than Liverpool for a longer period of time, even when we were losing. Like none of these teams could have said that they were better than us, be it in passing, be it in just dominating us. None of these teams has dominated us like for a longer period of time, which means that the way we are playing is just so simple. It's not like we are struggling, we are passing around, we are so calm. Like our team has grown. It's not just kids. Last year, everybody was like complaining that we are playing like kids. Like whenever we get the score or whenever we consider goal, everybody loses their head, and now we start making a lot of mistakes. This is not the case this time round. And I think this is the good thing about this team, and which will make it hard for PSG to really play the way they have played with Atletico Madrid, the way they have played with Real Madrid, the way they have played with every other team. Like they're going to face a lot of hardship when playing against us, because if you are going man to man, because that's where people are saying, like, in the wings, you have a wing that has Doe and Hakimi. Like it's so, usually say OP, like it's so overpowered. Like you can be overpowered, but at the same wing, you have somebody like Cucurella, who's the best left back currently in the world. You can say it. And then you'll have a winger. It depends how Maresca will use them. But even if you have Pedro Neto, is a person who can run, who can offer. Like if you defend, we can also hit you on a counter attack. Like if you attack us, we can also hit you on with a counter attack. It's not like we are, in any case, we are also just as good as PSG on the wings In the midfield, I think we are even better if we arrange our midfield in the right way. And I'm going to put what, let me, we are there. This is how I think these teams will line up. Like PSG will have Donnarumma, the goalkeeper, and then Hakimi, Marquinhos, Beraldo, because Pacho is already at home. He had a red card. Then Nuno Mendes. Then at the center, they always play this way. All the games. I don't think there's any game. Why is my nene misbehaving? I don't think there's any game where they have come differently than this one. They always have is 4-3-3, Fabian Ruiz, Neves, Vitinha, Doué Dembele. Of course, they usually change with Bacola and everybody else, but this is their first 11. And the way Henrique said in his interviews that from the minute one, they'll come with, they will be 100, they will be 100%. Though this is their strongest squad and this is what they will come up with. Now, the strongest squad for Chelsea is debatable. Everybody, Sanchez will always be there. Cucurella and Reece James might be there. Of course, Cucurella will always be there. I don't know where Maresca will put Reece James, but I think over these games, I think the game that we lost, where he was like really juggling around, and he said he was putting Cole Palmer at the right wing and everybody. And he said that loss was on him because he was trying to change a lot of things. He was trying to, arrange things for next season. I don't think this is the game where I will come to try and create a different thing. Meaning, the defense will be Sanchez, Cucurella, James. Now, I don't know who will play as the center back, but I'm sure if it was me, he will have Colwell, I guess. But then Tosin or Chaloba, I'm not sure. Then Caicedo will always be there. Enzo will always be there. Palma will always be there. And because Pedro scored and the cameo he made in the first game and the second game where he scored 2 goals, like, he will be there. I don't know if he'll play as a striker or he'll go to the left wing and then have Pedro Neto as the right wing and then have probably Jackson or Delap as the striker. But I think this, if I was Maresca, and if I think Maresca is looking this game, the way I'm looking at this game, this should be the right squad. A lot of people are saying like we should have Santos in there, but I don't think Santos needs to be there because first, he hasn't played with this team for so long. I think he has been subbed once or twice, and then the other game where he was the first choice, but we are not facing like a huge team like in terms of quality. Now, how these teams will play. Now, the way I said, like how PSG plays, they pass around, they do judge pressing on you, they force you to make mistakes. Then, when you make mistake, they are so quick at capitalizing on any mistake that you make, the way they capitalized on Real Madrid. The first 2 goals, like Real should not have considered the first 2 goals. It was like just dilly-dallying on the ball. The first person was it Asensio or who? Then the second one was Rudiger. That's how they play. That's how they have pushed a lot of these other oppositions. Now, the game they lost against, was it Botafogo? Now, you could say that that wasn't their first 11 because at the mid, they didn't have Ruiz and Neves. They had those 2 other guys. Emery somebody. They were teenagers. Now, you could say that was the reason why they lost that game. But then they had a good center, they had a good back line, and then they had the same forward line. But they didn't score because that team was not making a lot of mistakes. Now, that's what you want to depend on. You want to expect that all these other guys, Colwell, Tosin, James, Cucurella, will not be making any mistakes. Cucurella has not been making a lot of mistakes. James, likewise, as much as sometimes when he moves forward, he delays coming back, and then you expect somebody else to cover for him. Madueke wasn't covering him enough. And now I'll explain my Nkunku placement, because Nkunku is also not is not the guy to come back and cover you. But then I'll explain it later. But James will not make all these other mistakes. And you need the right fullbacks to handle. That's where they always overpower certain teams, because you need the right fullbacks to handle their wingers. Due is such a tricky player. He's such a player that can hurt you in so many different ways. And he's quick, he's tricky, he has so much, and he's light. Like, if you fail him, you get a yellow, you get another yellow, is red. So, but I'm so sure the way Cucurella has been handling every other guy, like, I don't think there's any winger who has given Cucurella so much troubles. He has played with Saka, who is also a very tricky winger. He has played against who's this other guy coming to our team, who was also quick and was trickier and had the same build as Due. So you expect, of course, he created a chance and then scored. But then this is the game where, as much as a lot of people are saying, this is not a game where a lot of people will be scoring. Like, it will not have a lot of goals. Any team winning will be like 2-0, 2-1, or we go 2-2, then extra time, then penalty, or 0-0, 1-1-0. It's a game of two tacticians who are meeting, and it will be a cage game, because we'll want to slow the game. This is how we'll play. I think we'll want to slow the game, and PSG will also want to slow the game when they have the ball, but then when they lose the ball, they will be pressing us heavily. And likewise, like, we are nearly similar in the way we play. The only difference is that PSG is the mid. In PSG, their midfield is more, they have that philosophy that what's that Barcelona philosophy? They play so much quick passes and everything, but our mid is just dominating. It's so much about destroying everything. Caicedo likes to destroy everything. Then Enzo likes to either go to the back or to the wings. Like, how we play, we are a team that plays from the back. Like, most of our possession is not in the mid, it's always in the back. So we either allow you to come to us, then we hit you on counter attack, or if you don't want to come to us, then the whole team usually presses you on your wing. Now, this is how you play. Now, how we usually play when we are in possession, you'll have Colwell, Cucurella. I'll just push these things up, and then you'll have Caicedo, Enzo, Palma there. Then Reece James will be playing around this area. This is when, if we have possession. Now, if we have possession, you'll see, because they usually want to it's like man marking, is like pressing, is a kind of pressing where this is how they'll be pressing us, like trying to get everybody. Now, Here is why you need Nkunku. Mendes is quick, but Nkunku has that thing where he likes to retain the ball. Like, it's easy to foul him. And I know PSG do not always make certain foul, unless on this other side, like Hakimi, Marquinhos, and these other guys, they're always fouling people. Now, on this other side of Mendes, I don't have the games that I've watched them, they haven't been making so many fouls because they were quicker than probably the opposition, and they're just a good team. But it's probably because they have not met people that like to just retain the ball. Like if you have Reece James, you have Nkunku, and you have Cole Palmer here, it's so hard to take the ball from them. You'll have to foul them. You see, now the other way you could play is to have Neto on this side. Now, when you have Neto on this side, he's quick, and sometimes he's quicker than these other guys. Like the way he plays is different from the way Palmer likes to play. It's different from the way James likes to play. James and Palmer and even Tosin, they're more relaxed. They're more, they don't like to run. Either run with the ball, run towards the ball, run from the ball. They're always so much relaxed, which makes Nkunku nearly similar in the way they play. And that's why Kuku performed so well in the last game, because he was put in a side where they had Palmer, where they had James, and for a period they had Malogusto. It was just slow, caged, and controlled. It made Nkunku shine. Now with Pedro likes to run the same way Cucurella likes to run. Enzo likes to give quicker passes. Like he gets the ball, he gives the ball. He doesn't like to retain the ball, which made Pedro Neto have so many chances. And I think this is the same way we are going to play this game. That's why every wing will be working. It will be how they play, but it will be working. Like the left wing will be working nearly as good as the right wing, as much as the right wing will be so much into caged slow ball, and the left wing will be so much into running and trying to get trickier with the ball. Now, with possession, I think we'll not have a lot of possession, but also I don't think PSG will be having those 60%, 70% possession. PSG, I think, will also not be getting all those chances, because we have people who press. Pedro is one of them. Now we might have Nicholas Jackson, but then you need a person where, because chances will be few, you need a person when you get a chance, you score a chance. Like if we get a chance, we can score a chance. We don't need a person where they can get 5 chances and miss a lot of them. So in a game where you have only 1 or 2 or 3 chances, it's so hard for you to get a goal if the person that you are giving the responsibility is not a person who makes a lot of goals. Now, that's why I think probably we shouldn't start with either Delap or Jackson. Just think we should start with Pedro. Now, Pedro can press, Neto can press, Palmer can press sometimes. Nkunku, I'm not sure. So you don't expect these guys to retain the ball, to play the way they usually play. You know, even with Madrid, they were playing so, and you can just go, you can just, I think we can check, we can take you to, I think, which is that SofaScore? There's something I need. Now, this, just from seeing this side, are you where my mouse is going? You can see that Real Madrid did not really play until probably the second half. And at that time, it was all over. They were 3 down, so they were really struggling to get back into the game. And PSG, they're not like Bayern. If they overpower you, they sometimes just drop their level. They just start passing around. They're not into. But the thing I was trying to show you is where is it? The average position. Where are you? Where are you? I'm not sure if it's here or go to a different website. But just look at Madrid are not doing anything. Like touches in penalty area, they were not there. Zero through balls, zero big chances scored. Shots inside the box, zero. Shots, one, only 4 shots, and every shot was out of the box. And all those shots were blocked. But there's always a chart where they show the average position in the game. I don't know where. It should be somewhere. Oh, it should be here. Now, this is where they were playing, and this is where a lot of them, or a lot of PSG players, they pushed. I don't know if you are seeing it. They pushed. They pushed. No, 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 no. This is not that game. Yeah, this is not that game. Because I was wondering, like, I didn't think they pushed. Yeah, this is the game. Yeah, this is the game. Now, you see the average position. These guys, the three midfielders, I don't think. Okay, one is here, but a lot of Fabian Ruiz and are you seeing it? Yeah, it's there. A lot of the three midfielders, they are very, very close to each other. They were playing because that's how they play, like just simple passes, close passes, and they were moving like if they're moving towards your side. It's not like one person is moving so for like it wasn't how can I explain it the right way? They move like a team, all of them. If it's made, it's just small passes as they go forward, small passes as they go forward until they hurt you or until they create spaces for either the wingers or the fullbacks who are joining in the attack. Now, the problem with Real Madrid is that they were always far apart, especially at the midfield, because they had who's this? They were playing like three at the back, but then Jomeni was there, like the center back. Now, those people who are playing at the mid, they were Gula and Garcia, and you'll see Bellingham coming at the back and going in front, and they couldn't handle the three guys. Now, it's different with us because the way we play, just coming back to the to our board, you can see that the way we play is that if you have possession, James is always here. Now we'll have four midfielders every time we have possession, so we'll always have one person to give a pass, and even if they're pressing so much, we usually just go back. It's easier. It's usually back to Tosin, back to Sanchez, back to Cucurella. Cucurella is there. And if it's Tosin is here. When we lose possession, now, everybody is usually with their man. You will see Cucurella trying to get their man. Caicedo is back, Neto is back. And this is how Man City even was so good in the previous games because everybody was really defending. And even in the previous game, Pedro will come back. You'll see Pedro defending headers from this side. So you'll have everybody behind the ball. Now, I don't know if Nkunku will be doing that to that degree with PSG, but he did that last game. Like everybody was playing man to man. If it's going man to man, and that's the other thing. If it's going man to man, James can still handle this guy. Tosin, Caicedo can still handle, and Enzo can still handle all these midfielders. Now, Pedro and Hakimi, like nearly the same pace and same intensity. Now, Cucurella will handle anybody. This is why this game is not hard for us. Like it's hard, but then it's not something you'll say like PSG will beat us 4-0. Like, hey. Now, we go to my prediction. I think Chelsea are going to, as much as at some point in they were asking Maresca if we'll suffer without the ball, and he was telling like who thinks we'll suffer? We are not going to suffer. We are going to retain the ball. This ball will be, of course, in terms of possession, PSG will have a better possession, probably 55-45. But we are going to win the midfield battle with Caicedo, Enzo, Palma, and an inverting James. And if we win the midfield battle, I don't think this team will create the chances that they usually create for the fullbacks first and then for their wingers. So eventually, to a certain degree, we are going to, it will be a game of who scores first or who stays until the second half, because probably will be nearly similar or nearly the same intensity for the first half. Now for the second half, when we start making the substitution, and now they're bringing in Bacola and Emery somebody, and we are bringing in Delap, and they're bringing in that Gonzalo. Is it Gonzalo? And we are bringing in probably Nicola Jackson. I don't know if he'll come. And we are bringing in Andre Santos, and we are bringing in. That's when you'll notice that, of course, we can compete. And I think we'll win this game, probably 2-1, because we have also not been conceding. That's the other thing. We have not been conceding. As much as people think that Chelsea are not as good, we have not been conceding. The last time we had, let me connect. We'll connect when it wants. It will connect when it. Okay. Now you can see Chelsea versus Fluminense, it ended 2-0. Chelsea versus Palmeiras, that one goal, that unsavable goal from Chelsea versus Benfica. This was, they just wanted us to concede, because it wasn't a goal that anybody should concede. Like, it was a penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty. Then Tunis versus Chelsea, 3-0. Flamengo really did a number on us, but it was a Maresca experiment. Chelsea versus LFC, 2-0. Conference League, Chelsea versus Betis, and Betis scored after it was over. Like, we had really decided that, okay, this game we have won. Nottingham Forest 0, Man United 0. Of course, Newcastle lost, but that's far. But then, Jugarden, we don't, especially just scoring for the last like 15 games. We have only been beaten by double digits twice. Like, conceded double digits twice against Flamengo and against Newcastle. Now, PSG also doesn't concede a lot of goals. It's a solid team. And the last time they were beat again, it was like resting people. They are resting certain players, which you can understand them. But then, beat Real Madrid 4-0, Bayern 2-0, Inter Miami 4-0. Hey, okay, they conceded against Botafogo 1, beat PSG, beat Inter. Hey. 2-1 against Arsenal, 4-1. Strasbourg, Andre Santos. Nice, Nantes. So they turned up during, at some point they were just letting goals in. And then that game against Aston Villa, that's the game that you need to study, because they were really struggling, especially at the end after the 70th minute. And it wasn't just with Aston Villa. For a couple of games, sometimes they overpower you, and by the time it's 60 minutes, they have already beaten you 3-0. So you don't even have the power to compete. But for the games where they were struggling and they wanted something, and it was, they needed to retain their stars in the squad, you will see, like, after a certain period of time, the energy just comes down, because they struggle so much. And you can see, in the, as much as they are talented, they don't have the right, that physicality that you will expect of like Chelsea. You have physicality. A lot of Premier League teams have physicality. You see, they don't have that. So my prediction is we will win this game. We might win 2-1 because they'll have to score, or we might go 2-2 and then we'll go to penalty, which everybody thinks Donnarumma will be saving the pens, but we have we have so many players that are very good at this penalty thing, and they have been winning whenever we, like, I just know whenever Chelsea is required to turn up, it always turn up. So let's meet tomorrow for the game. I will not watch along, but I'll be here to tell you whatever I said today is right after the game.